everyone. So it's been a little bit since we've shot a video, and I've had several people ask me what the process is of hatching the quail eggs. So I thought I'd just show a little step-by-step of what I do. And this is the my collection of quail eggs over the past few days. Right now I'm getting about 5 to 6 a day because as all of you know that have followed me, I started with what I had left from our batch of quail last year, which was 2 roosters and a hen, so basically a pair that was laying eggs. And all of my hatchlings that I have now, which are quite a bit, came from those 2. So like I said, I'm getting about 6 eggs a day right now. So first I'll start collecting enough eggs to get into the incubator, and I like to put about 20 in there at a time. So here's a little collection of eggs that I've got now, and then I will walk you over to my incubator, which is in my other room. And I actually have some really exciting news right now. This is actually going to be new for me, and please excuse the clutter in here. This is my my hatching slash crafting room, and I actually have storage in here right now. But as you will see in here, I have a bunch of blue eggs that I got from a friend, and these are a different kind of quail I'm very excited about, and once they're hatched I'll show them to you guys. But I have a mixture of my quail eggs in here, the Caternix quail, the blue quail eggs, and a little surprise, which is, where's it at? Over there, that little one right in the middle over on the left-hand edge. That's some California quail. We're out in my yard, and when I walked out there to my spaghetti squash, they had dropped a little egg right next to one of my plants and just left it there abandoned. So I decided to just grab it up rather than just leave it there wasted, and I put it in the incubator with the rest of my eggs. And I candled my eggs today since they've been in there since the 6th, and there's actually a little chickie growing in there, so that's pretty exciting. I don't know if it'll make it all the way to hatching, but it'll sure be neat if it does. I think that's just pretty exciting since we already have a mix, excuse me, I can't talk, of baby quail in here. So like I said, from collection, the next step is going in the incubator. I set my temperature to from 99 to 100 degrees. In the beginning, I keep my humidity from 50 to 55. It's at about 58 now because I just added a little bit of water to it. I've had it get as high as 60, and it hasn't hurt them one bit. Matter of fact, I had my last batch, my humidity was running 65, and I couldn't get it any lower than that. I think it's because our temperatures were so high here. And the only thing that happened is my chicks hatched a day early, and they were all fine. But like I said, I try to keep the temperature between 99 and 100, and my humidity in the beginning at about 50-55. And then you run your incubator about 17 days with the baby quail. On day 14, they'll come out of this turner. The yellow thing that's in there turns the eggs back and forth. It rocks them back and forth so that you don't have to hand turn them. And on day 14, they'll come out of that. I'll set them all down in the bottom of the incubator, and that's what you call lockdown. On lockdown, the last 3 days, you do not open the incubator at all. And I've actually done this and proven that it is correct. You can kill the baby chicks and the eggs because they can get what's called shrink wrapped. The membrane inside the egg can shrink around the chick and actually suffocate it. And There's times where you'll lose your humidity and different things can happen and you feel like you need to open your incubator to get in there and add water or whatnot. It's better just not to do that and risk killing your chicks, because I've opened it before and not had anything happen, and I've opened it before and lost chicks. So it's just better during lockdown the last 3 days not to open your incubator at all. And on another video I'll show you, I found ways to add water into my incubator anyway, so I don't need to do that. So once the chicks have hatched, I give them, you gotta leave them in there at least 24 hours. Let them dry off and give them a little bit of time in the incubator. I don't take them out for at least 24 hours. I usually give them up to 48. Give all the eggs a chance to hatch. It takes them about that long for all of them to hatch. I've had them take up to 3 days for all of them to hatch. Once 48 hours are up, I usually remove what chicks have hatched, and then I move them over here to the brooder. As you can see, I have chicks in here right now. These no longer have a heating lamp on them for 2 reasons. One is these are almost 2 weeks old. They've already feathered out, so they don't need a heating lamp anymore. But I actually took their heating lamp off of them when they were about 3 or 4 days old, because we're having extremely high temperatures here right now of over 100 degrees anyway, and my house is not air conditioned. I just have a window air conditioner, so my house stays about 75 to 80 degrees anyway. So they go from the incubator into this little brooder. My new thing that I've been doing now, and I keep a little feeder and water in here, and as you can see, they constantly fill it up with sawdust, as a matter of fact, or wood shaving, sorry. I'm gonna clean it out because they have no water every time they do this, and they need water all the time. Come on, babies, look what you did again. You made a little mess. Yes, you did. You made a mess. Silly babies. And as you can see, I got a few little brown ones again. Every batch I've been getting about 3 little brown Caturnix quail, and then my little Goldens. You can hear them a little bit. I love the little sounds they make. So like I was starting to say, the new thing I've been doing is I keep them in here now at about, because it's so warm outside, I'm able to do this. I let them feather out about 2 weeks, about 2 to 2.5 weeks. Walk you outside and show you where they go from here. I'm starting to now take them out. I've got my kitty and doggy here. Watching what we're, hi guys, hi Kenya, hi Ariel, that was Oreo, and Kenya. And they're gonna go with us, or Kenya is, Oreo ran the other way. I move them out with the adult quail now, because I used to take them out when they were older. And what happens is they don't get along when they're all adults. And the adult quail get real territorial out here in their little habitat I have out here for them. I'm gonna walk by my silky chickens here. Hi guys. There's like my spaghetti squash starts. And oh my goodness, not sure what's going on over there. Here's one little cage I have of, it's one rooster with 4 hens. And this is where I bring the chicks out to. This is where I brought the last batch out, and they're already laying eggs. They just started laying eggs, and I just brought them out a few weeks ago. And let's see, maybe I can oh yeah, see, there's an egg there. See. They just kind of lay them all over the place in this little habitat I have for them. Let's see if there's any in here. There's one down there. There's one there. guys. This in here, I didn't get as many eggs today, and I'm not really quite sure why. Oh, there's one over there. I guess there are several, but I noticed over in the cage back there, there's an egg. There weren't any at all, and I've been getting 3 over there. It was an extremely hot day. It could have been because of that. Oh, well, there's a few. Maybe they're just laying them later today. Could be that. But anyway, so the 2.5-week-old chicks, last time I brought out here to these adult quail, and they actually just loved them. They took them right in. The hens, interestingly enough, just took them right in and were snuggling with them and everything else. So I'm going to just start doing that from now on. I'm just going to add the young little chicks in with the adults. And that way I have no fighting problems or anything. And that is the process. People were asking me about it. And then what I do is, once they're old enough to identify which are the roosters and which are the hens. So far these guys have been okay. They've all been able to live together without any fighting. I'll start dividing them off. Like that over there is a rooster with his hens all by himself. This is a rooster with his hens all by themselves. I try to keep it to 4 to 5 hens per rooster. Then the roosters that I don't need, we start culling out, especially the aggressive ones. We don't want to breed aggression. And they'll go into what's called a grow out pen. And those are the ones that will go to what we call freezer camp, because this is a farm. We do eat meat, and we eat both the eggs and the quail. And that's what happens to all of our excess roosters and to any quail once they're reaching their mature age. They only live to be 2 years old. So when they get close to the 1.5-year mark, they also go to freezer camp. And that is the process, the life cycle of the quail. Just ignore the chickens. They do this around bedtime every night, and I'm not really sure why. Must be their decision of who gets the roost. So that's it. Everybody have a good night. Oh, I'll give you a little peek at my garden. Nobody's gotten to see the garden for a while. It's gotten pretty big. Starting to get some vegetables from it. Oh, that scared me. That's Zeke back there, by the way. He's not in the garden. He's on the other side of the fence. And Luna. And our new little goat is back there, Daffy. She's behind Luna, peeking over the top of her. Have a good night, everybody.